What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today I want to talk about a surprise trade candidate that was listed that I think could make sense for the New York Jets to get active in. Before we get started, Matt O'Leary NY on socials, and don't forget about the Just Jets podcast. So Brad Spielberger of PFF listed off some surprise trade and cut candidates around the NFL, and there was someone listed as a surprise trade candidate that I think would make a lot of sense for the New York Jets at their new need, which is wide receiver after Corey Davis has retired from the NFL. That player is Darnell Mooney with the Chicago Bears. He was drafted by the Bears in the year 2020. He spent 3 years in the league. And there's some interesting reasoning given for why he might want out, even though the Bears are trying to progress forward a little bit. But here's a couple of reasons why he could potentially want out. So here's some examples of how. Mooney was the number one option for Chicago in 2021 and 2022 before the Bears brought in DJ Moore in this trade. They moved back from the number one overall pick, and they get a haul of draft picks, including a DJ Moore, which is a number one receiver. And last year, they also gave up a second round pick to land Chase Claypool. That obviously just clutters the wide receiver room. It makes it better, but keep in mind, this is the Chicago Bears offense that was dead last in significant passing categories, for instance, attempts, completions, and yards. So even with the addition of DJ Moore, and obviously you bring in Chase Claypool and you're hoping that he rebounds, this probably won't be a pass-happy offense. In fact, they are probably going to run the ball a ton, and going into the last year of his deal with no extension in place, will he want to play out the final year of his contract in that situation, or will he look to cash in somewhere else where they might throw the ball a little bit more? Anyway, that's his reasoning on it. Don't know the validity of if this is actually super likely, but an interesting name to talk through, because I do think it would be a really good fit for the New York Jets if he was in fact available, because I do not think he is costing you a first or a second round pick in a trade. In 2021, this was a 1,000-yard receiver. He put up 1,055 yards and 4 touchdowns. This past year, he played in 12 games, and in those 12 games, 493 yards and 2 touchdowns. Numbers went down. He also, again, missed time. He missed 5 games last year, but I almost said the Packers. The Bears, did not throw the football at all. Again, they were dead last in the league in attempts, completions, and yards. What I like about Mooney is he's still young. He's on his rookie deal. He's going to turn 26 in October, so he's in the prime of his career right now. It's not like you're trading for someone who is over 30 years old. He's a good blocker, and Corey Davis was a good blocker. I was going to say was and still is, but he's retired, but was a good blocker. And if you want to replace or try to replace a Corey Davis, getting someone in who is a valued run blocker is obviously something that's a good thing. He splits time between the outside and the slot, and here's how his numbers have looked over the last few years and the first 3 years of his career. He started out mostly on the outside, playing 78.7% outside to 20.5% in the slot in his first year. Second year, it's closer to 50-50, 55.6% outside, 43.6% in the slot. And last year, significantly more time in the slot, 60.5% to 38% on the outside. So he has versatility. He could do a little bit of everything. And also, he adds something that the Jets don't really have right now on the roster, which is a deep threat. If you watch a lot of Darnell Mooney's biggest catches, they are down the field, and a vertical threat would be a nice addition to this team because, again, it's something that they don't really have. Garrett Wilson maybe could become that, but Garrett's really more of like you get him the ball in space and let his yak do the work. And Allen Lazard's not really that guy. He kind of like finds the soft spot of the zone, sits down, finds the easy completions. Hardman, maybe that could be Hardman, but I look at him as more of a gadget guy. Cobb is not really a deep threat. Maybe Xavier Gibson could be that guy, but I think Mooney would instantly become the biggest deep threat on this team. if they were to go out there and acquire him. And is Darnell Mooney a number one wide receiver? No, the Bears obviously acted and brought in DJ Moore, who is a legit number one. But can Mooney be the third wide receiver, maybe even second wide receiver on this team? Yeah, I absolutely think so. I would guess that Lazard, especially because of the connection that he has with Aaron Rodgers, would have, a little bit of a leg up on some of these other guys on the roster. But I don't know about you. I know Xavier Gipson's made a really nice push, and he probably is the most deserving of those guys fighting for the bottom of the roster spot to make it. But I'd feel a hell of a lot more comfortable with a guy like Darnell Mooney added to this wide receiver core than having to rely on a Gibson, a Malik Taylor, insert name here, Jason Brownlee. It just makes you feel a little bit more comfortable at the position. So let me know your thoughts. Would you try to add Darnell Mooney? Let me know if that is something that you think the Jets should explore. Again, I know the big name guys, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, are the preferred options, the favorites, but I think it's interesting to talk through some potential options. And let me know your thoughts on it. Sound off in the comments. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.